Hi, this is Chesney from Wayne Public Library, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Catnip Mouse toy. You're going to pick up your kit from the library, and every kit you're going to have enough material to make 2 mice. That way, if you're making these for your cat at home, they'll have 2 toys to play with. If you're making them to bring back to us to donate, you will be donating 2, or you can keep one and donate one. Up to you. So every kit is going to come with 2 squares of felt. They're going to come with these 2 patterned pieces. You're going to get 2 of these orange ropes. You're going to get some stuffing. You're going to get some catnip. You're going to get a sewing needle, which is going to come in a little duct tape cylinder that has hot glue on each end. To get your sewing needle out, because that's how we were transporting it safely, you're just going to cut at one of the ends where the hot glue is and your needle will be in there. And then you're going to get a couple threads. You're going to get 2 threads that are longer than the rest, and then you're going to get 4 that are shorter. Alright, and then to get started, we're going to be cutting out our pieces of felt for the body and the ears. So because the felt is small, you're going to want to make sure you line it up to where you're going to be able to cut out one of these shapes and 2 of the ears. Now, it doesn't have to be precise. This is just a rough estimate for size and shape. Then any sharp edges you can trim up a little bit. And then you're going to be cutting 2 of these ears out. Now, the ears are going to be optional. They're probably the most difficult part of making the mouse. So if you don't want to include ears, you're welcome to just skip that step and move on to the rest of it. The mouse will still look okay without its ears, and the cats playing with the toy will still enjoy it. So the ears are optional. Alright. So now that we have that, we're going to put aside this felt for later in case we need it, and then I'm going to show you how you're going to do the ears. So we're going to be doing the ears now, and like I said, we're going to be getting 2 extra long pieces of thread and then 4 shorter pieces. The 4 shorter pieces are 1 piece for each ear of the 2 mice. So for your first mouse, you're going to pull aside the 2 shorter strands for the ears. Now, you're going to thread your sewing needle with this by sticking it through the eye of the needle. You have a lot of extra thread just in case you need it. You're not going to be needing all this thread alone just for the ears. You're going to grab the 2 ends, so you have your needle like this. Grab the end, and you're going to create a knot once, and then twice, and you're going to want the second knot to be where the first knot was, so you have 1 larger knot, just like that. Now, the ear location, This mouse, when we fold it, this part that's a little thinner, that's going to fold up, and this is going to be the shape of the mouse, just like this. So the ear we're going to place roughly about right here, a little further down than the top, and we're just doing it on one side. So we're going to leave this loose, open, and put the ear about right where we want it. And then to sew this, we're actually going to start on the inside. We're going to poke the thread through. I'm going to pull it until it hits that knot in the back. Then we're going to through again, pull that through. We have one little loop. I'm going to go on the back and do the same thing. And then one more time to get to the back. And that's how your ear is going to stay on. And we're going to tie that off. Like so. And just like the other, we're going to do it a second time. And then you're going to cut the extra off. And there you have your one ear when you fold it up. And I'm going to do the second ear off camera, but it's going to be done the exact same way, but just flipped on the other side. So it's like that. Alright. If you added your ears, they should both be sewn on just like that. And we're all set to start on the rest of the body portion. So we're going to thread our needle and for this you're going to be using one of the extra long threads. You're going to get the kit with the 2 extra long threads, and they're both going to be for the body portion of each mouse. And then you're going to take these 2 pieces on the end. You're going to tie it off once, and then I'm going to tie it off twice, and make sure you double up that knot. You want to get both knots in the same spot. If you want to be double sure that it's not going to cause any issues, you're also welcome to triple knot it. Alright, now this is going to be a different stitch than the ears, and we're going to start at the tip of the nose. And you're going to push the needle all the way through both sides of the folded mouse, all the way until it hits the knot that you tied. And we're going to cut this extra thread off at the end. Now you're going to go back to the side that you poked it through originally, and you're going to do it again. And you're basically going to keep doing that to close up the opening and bring both sides together. Now you're going to want to pull it tight, but not too tight. And then when you get behind the ears, you're just probably going to want to fold those down. You know, thread it to where you're going in between between the two ears. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to where roughly about there's a little more, because we want to leave enough of an opening where we're going to be able to put the filling and the catnip inside. Alright, probably about close to there where you have still a bit of an opening, and the filling that you're going to get in the bag should be enough for 2 mice. And if you are making both mice and find that you are running a little short on this, or you overstuff one and understuff the other, some of this extra felt can also be used as stuffing, so you might want to keep that with you just in case. And while the needle is still threaded, we're going to carefully stuff the mouse. Make sure that you push the stuffing through enough to where it gets to the tip of the nose area. And get the middle portion. And then once it's about half stuffed, half filled with stuffing, then we're going to use the catnip. Now, same as the filling, this should be enough for both of your mice. Split it roughly in half. You might want to do this over a plate so you don't spill any. It's a little messy. And you're going to put roughly half of what you got in the bag into the end of your mouse. Any extra catnip that brushes off on the sides you can get off later. And then you're going to fill the rest of it with the stuffing. And then one last thing before we finish sewing up the rest of the mouse is this thread is for the tail. Now for the tail, you're going to tie a knot in both ends, just like that. And then one of these ends is going to be put right there and sewn inside. We're going to leave that out until we're closer to that portion. Right, now I'm going to make sure you pull that thread tight before you start sewing again. And then you can start closing up the rest of the mouse. And then when there's just enough space to fit the tail piece in, you're going to want to hold it with one hand and make sure you thread around it. You can even put a thread through it to hold it in better. And make sure it is solid before you tie off your thread. And then like we did with the ears, we're just going to tie a knot in the very end of this. And then you're going to do a second knot. And then if you'd like, you can do a third knot for good measure. Then you can cut that off and go back to the nose and cut that extra thread off too. And then here is what your completed mouse should look like. And this is my cat who offered to test the toy out. Thank you for joining us with this craft today, and we hope that you join us for more crafts in the future.